over a month ago, I finished Heroes of the Valley by Jonathan Stroud. It's so good. I devoured it. It's been a month and I still catch myself thinking like, oh, that ending. And so because I loved it so much, I went to film a book talk. But the problem, I had just moved, and so the camera angle I had been setting up wasn't stable just because I was in a new place, and the camera kept falling. I'm gonna show you that broken footage just all put together. If it seems a little incoherent, just know it is such a good book. My choppy footage has nothing to do with the fact that I didn't love the book, because I did. So let's go ahead and take a look at this footage. Hi everybody, welcome to Read Clean Books. My name is Anna, and today we will be discussing Heroes of the Valley by Jonathan Stroud. If you're thinking to yourself, I have never heard of this book before, it's because this was published in 2009. You know what I was doing in 2009? I was in elementary school probably. I picked up this book because I've been reading all of Jonathan Stroud's bibliography. This one, so first of all, it's Vikings. I've never read Vikings before. The main guy, he's 14, his name is Halli, and he lives in the kingdom, but it's really boring there because they had their last war like 200 years ago, and now war just isn't a thing. They have this council that rules all the lands. People just farm, get married, grow up and die. But because there's no conflict in life, the main character feels really bored, like he's not growing, and he's really frustrated with the peaceful life. There's a lot of political conflict in here. Oh, and it's like fantasy mystery. Not a mystery like who killed who, but more like are the legends they are saying true? Like, what's really the truth? Is everything I've been told my entire life, is that really the case? And it has, of course, good writing. Okay, so now that you know what it's about, that's it for the non-spoiler section. Never in my life had I read a book and the ending was so heartfelt and bittersweet that I thought I need therapy to go through this. But now I have since had that thought. When I finish this book, I'm gonna put in actually some of my Instagram stories right here. Insert Instagram stories where I was freaking out when I was finishing the book. And that like the second to the last chapter of Heroes of the Valley by Jonathan Stroud, and the most wild thing just happened and no one is home, so I don't have anyone to talk to about it. I just finished the book. You don't understand. Like you don't understand. As you can see, I was a little distraught. And then when my sister came home, I made her listen painstakingly, detail for detail, about this book. Oh, and the other thing I was gonna say, if you're familiar with Jonathan Stroud's works, if you read Lockwood & Co. or Scarlet and Brown, you know how the romance is in his books. You know how he is with the romance in the books. It's never explained what happens, it's never explicit. This book I thought was gonna be the same, with the main guy Halli and the love interest Odd. The romance gets actually fulfilled, and it's actually quite clear what happens. Anyway, so I really enjoyed that part. Okay, I have to say, when we first started, this has really good opening chapters. Just the first couple chapters talking about Halli's childhood growing up, and we see him like up until he's 14. It feels like we get a chapter like every 2 or 3 years of his life, and I love the way that the book has spread it out. The chapter headings at the top, beginning of each chapter, is a legend from Sven. I thought that was a really nice touch, especially because you can start to see as the chapter headings start to turn for the worse, like as Sven becomes less of a hero and more of like a dictator or totalitarian ruler, as we see towards the end, like Sven gets really cold-hearted, conquering cities, slaughtering people right in the chapter headings, and that's what sets it up for the very end when we figure out that it was never the tainted and it's Sven keeping them. So that was a super nice touch. I really liked how the chapter intros of Sven's life would play into Halli's life. It's like meta literature, whatever that means. I feel like that's a nice way to describe it. So I really enjoyed that. But yeah, the first couple of chapters, I mean, the first one starts, it's like, oh, Halli, you're born on this solstice. You're gonna bring bad luck to us all. It's like, that's not his fault. Just came for a good time. Yeah, so then Halli grows up, and then he was endearing for like the first couple chapters, but then he just became a troublemaker. So although Halli's a trickster, you can't deny that he's smart. Oh, and then when he goes to kill the grandfather, but then he can't kill the grandfather because he's like, I can't kill people. It's like, yeah, I could have told you that. But then the grandfather ends up dying and everyone thinks it's Halli. See, that's funny. So yeah, you have that whole middle part. The part I just want to talk about is the end. So when I first started thinking that maybe the chores weren't what we thought they were, is when Odd and Halli were like, oh, chores aren't real. They're not real, right? They're not real. So then they go out and of course they get attacked by a tro. But Odd says, like, did you see the clothes they were wearing? Why would the chores be wearing clothes? And it's so dark that they don't see the face or what the chores look like. So that's when my brain is like, maybe it's not the chores. Maybe it's something else. I don't know what I thought it was. I just thought it wasn't the chores per se. But then when we started getting the chapter headings, like I said, with Sven turning more cruel and we're hearing about very malicious, very murderous deeds, I was like, okay. Like I still wasn't like, maybe this is Sven, but I was like, maybe the chores are punishment, maybe somehow. So then at the end when it turns out it was Sven, you literally, I would have never seen that in a million years. Like I would have never seen that coming. Sometimes I'm good at guessing plot twists, like with Loon Chronicle, it's really obvious. But I wasn't good. Oh my goodness. Well, my camera angle keeps falling, so I'm just gonna wrap this up really quick. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to know other clean books, go ahead and look at my other videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Read Clean Books. My name is Anna. As always, la 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 la. I picked up this book because I've been reading all of Jonathan Stroud. I kind of just butchered that. The chapter headings would play along. The chapter headings of Sven's life, not headings. And now I don't even remember where we're talking, and my tripod is precariously balanced. So we'll see how long this camera angle lasts. About maybe the tainted weren't. Not the tainted. Sorry. That's from Scarlet and Brown. You can see my dog in the picture.